at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Lall Show, only on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Guyana, join me on the Lall Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Lall Show, only on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
Namaste to you. It is a Monday. It is the 26th day of June 2023. Welcome down to this week's edition. Well, it's a brand new week. Welcome down to the first edition of the week, a live edition of the Lall Show, where we tell it as it is. We trust that you had an enjoyable weekend and you're ready to rumble as we bring to you information, as you know, as we've been doing for quite a number of years. Continue to tell it as it is. At the center of tonight's program, of course, is the man of the moment. He makes his presentation, and after which we take your calls, we feel your questions, your comments, your concerns, whatever it is that you want to, for us to clarify. We will do such for you. And those telephone numbers are 226-745-324, 622-2222. That's 6 and all the twos, and 624-6456. We're happy that you can join us this evening. And as you know, Auntie and Uncle, we encourage you to tell your friends, family, neighbor to join us here on the Lall Show. With that said, sir, namaste. I trust that you had a great weekend, and the floor is now yours.
Auntie and Uncle. Everywhere I go, people calling me Auntie and Uncle now. They're just like the Auntie and Uncle. I love it too, People calling me Uncle. Last night I went out and they say, Uncle, Uncle. But I'm so happy, I was so happy that people are listening, people are learning, people are coming to grips with what's happening in this country. Yes. It gives me great pleasure, every day to come to work, Josh, to know that I can make a difference, not only in Guyana, but around the globe, because whatever is going on here in this country has happened throughout this world, and it's still going on in many parts, many countries of this world. So I am so happy. People from Ghana, Kenya, all of them listening and shaking their heads, sending me messages. Glenn, is exactly what's happening in Africa. But things are changing. I'm so happy. Thanks for joining me, Uncle and Auntie. I'm so happy, I'm so grateful that you take the time out to listen every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Like Josh said, try to get your neighbors, try to get your friends, your relatives, your other family members to join us every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, so we can able to interact with each other. You can listen to me, I can listen to you, and we can try to see our best how we can bring about a change for a better Guyana, so that children and our grandchildren, future generations, can echo out a better life, one that is better than what we are living here today in. So Josh, namaste. Namaste. Namaste, Uncle and Auntie. A country can manage with their fools. It can even deal with hustlers on the inside, but it cannot handle or survive with the traitors from the inside. I don't remember who said that, but that person understands human beings. You can handle traitors, you can handle hustlers from inside. But you can't handle traitors from inside. How do you deal with that? Yeah. I love it. Today, Uncle, we reported 2 Kanu officers confessed to ripping off a Surinamese diamond dealer. One of them tell the police he sell his share, and the other one swallow his share of diamonds. Oh boy, one of them swallowed the diamonds. Yes, and the other one sell his share. The one that swallowed diamonds, uncle, the police had to give him castor oil or Senapad, and he pass it out of the hospital. That's how he get catch. I don't know if it has enough Senapads or castor oil to give some of our leaders to flush out the kanji and Kaieteur oil blocks out of them. There is a saying, a fish rots from the head. When the head is rotten, the whole body is of no use. This is what Guyana has long become. How do we change this, Joshua? Huh? You got a clue? How do we change this, uncle? How long more will we continue to live in a place where everywhere you turn, you smell, you taste, you feel and see people rotting from the head? Every time they open their mouths is pure lies and deceit, tricks and con games, one after the other. From the beginning of the oil production, uncle, we have been trying to get a simple question answered by President Ali, and more so, Vice President Jagdeo, who heading the oil sector, about what is the interest rate Exxon charging us for the money them invest out there. The reason for that, uncle, is because that is one of the biggest thieves. That is one of the biggest con game that can happen to a country in a partnership business. Auntie them can thief 3/4 of your oil. Yes, your oil money on that alone. And to this day, President Ali has not given an answer to that question. And when the same question is put to the oil seller of Guyana, Barra Jagdeo, he finds every rock to go and hide under. At his last press conference, Thursday gone, my reporter put back this simple, straightforward question to him again and asked him, "Sir, what is the interest rate that Guyana paying Exxon for the money they invest out there?" Uncle and auntie, please hear how this man danced and wiggled himself and still did not answer that simple, straightforward question. Joshua, play it for them, please.
The thing is that the financing, so a project could be financed from equity or loans. It could be financed from equity and or loans. So if you make a loan to the company, the local company, then you have to get a return in the form of a interest payment at a particular rate. If you make an equity injection, you get a return on your equity. So that is it. Regardless of whether you make the financing in a form of a loan or equity, you have to get a return. There's a cost of capital, and that is how it is. Generally, we had this issue when we were developing the hydro with Blackstone, where they wanted to do a 20% rate of return on equity, but we could have borrowed at maybe 8-9%. So it was in our interest that we co-invest in the equity. That's how we were using the funds we have at the IDB, 100 million, 80 something million now, 85 million, to invest in equity so that we can have more loans and they have less equity, because equity was remunerated at a higher rate. So that's what you need to explore when you analyze their data. And this is the question you should put to them. I don't want to be answering every time for Exxon too. You have to answer that. Get a clear answer from them. Then you can get a response from me. seek a clear answer from them.
Is there a standard rate that you're paying?
No, because we are not paying anything. The government of Guyana is not paying anything. So because they have to raise the financing using the best efforts, the cheapest cost of financing. That is what they're supposed to do as a company, right? So this is what can be analyzed even when you look at the revenue bank, the cost bank. So let's move on. Yes. Anything else? Thank you very much.
Oh, uncle, he dance and he wiggle. Dance and wiggle from a simple, straightforward question. What is the interest rate Guyana paying? This man is running our US oil, $1 trillion oil sector, and telling my reporter she should put that question to Exxon to get a clear answer from them first. And then she will get a response from he. How you like that, Josh? He doesn't know, or he doesn't want to tell us. We must ask Exxon first to hear what answer them give before he come up with his twisted tongue, like he always does. Then he went on and tried to confuse the reporter with a jiggery-poggery story by saying, we're not paying anything. The government and Guyana not paying anything. Exxon have to raise the financing. The cheapest cost of financing. They're supposed to do as a company. And as company always do. Gosh. Oh my gosh. So Mr. Jagdeo, if the government and Guyana not paying for that cheap financing, then who paying, Mr. Jagdeo? You or the politicians paying? Uncle, every time Jagdeo opens his mouth, the rope tightens around his neck as to what he's doing to this country and all of us. Then he went on to confuse and mix up his own self by telling us that investors must get a rate of return, an interest rate on the money them invest. In one breath, he says the government nor Guyana not paying anything. Then in the other breath, he said the people must get interest for the money them invest. Is what really this man saying there, Joshua? You guys don't want me to play him back. I think he was too clear in what he was saying there. And the question was never answered, Uncle. Josh?
Yes, sir.
You want to play back that tape so y'all can remember how clearly he thinks he can dance around them question, man? Huh? Listen to him carefully, Uncle. At the end, how quick he said, anything else? Okay, thank you. He didn't want that girl to follow up on that question. So he ended the press conference. Please listen to him. Play him back, man.
The thing is that the financing, so a project could be financed from equity or loans. It could be financed from equity or loans. So if you make a loan to the company, the local company, then you have to get a return in the form of a interest payment at a particular rate. If you make an equity injection, you get a return on your equity. So that is it. Regardless of whether you make the financing in a form of a loan or equity, you have to get a return. There's a cost of capital. And that is how it is. Generally, we had this issue when we were developing the hydro with Blackstone, where they wanted to do a 20% rate of return on equity, but we could have borrowed at maybe 8-9%. So it was in our interest that we co-invest in the equity. That's how we were using the funds we have at the IDB, 100 million, 80 something million now, 85 million, to invest in equity so that we can have more loans and they have less equity, because equity was remunerated at a higher rate. So that's what you need to explore when you analyze their data. And this is the question you should put to them. I don't want to be answering every time for Exxon too. You have to answer that. Get a clear answer from them. Then you can get a response from me. Seek a clear answer from them.
Is there a standard rate that you're paying?
No, because we are not paying anything. The government of Guyana is not paying anything. So because they have to raise the financing using the best efforts, the cheapest cost of financing. That is what they're supposed to do as a company, right? So this is what can be analyzed even when you look at the revenue bank, the cost bank. So let's move on. Yes. Anything else? Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's move on. Anything else? Thank you. Let's move on. Let's go. Uncle, just before I walk in this radio station, I was glancing at the Chronicle and the Guyana Times newspaper. Yesterday, Sunday, Jagdeo tell Region 3, we will do bigger and better in 2025. When I see that, I remember my slogan. They're going to skin all of you alive before 2025. Gosh. Whew. Ask him back, Uncle, that same question at another press conference. Or President Ali. And President Ali will say, Jagdeo, don't talk about that. And when you ask Jagdeo, he will say, how much time you all asking me the same question? Uncle, that question is huffing out more than 5 times of what Guyana receiving a year in royalties and profits. And none of them answering that question. Don't ask about the opposition. They're either dumb or handicapped on matters like these. I just be begging you to please, whenever you see these people, shout at them and ask them these questions. Or if you're not bold like Lall as yet, and his team, quietly ask them these questions and tape them, please. Tape them. Ask them what is the interest rate. Are we paying Exxon on that investment out there? Please. Please, Uncle. Please, Auntie. Or are you like throw mal around the necks? Continue doing that. Exxon tying rope around your neck and tightening it each passing day. Are you continue? I remember Bobishan asked President Ali 2 years ago that same question on interest rate. He told the man, oh, you're listening to Lall show. We have answers. We have all the answers for his questions. And now, he and Jagdeo, the oil king, you hear him just now, how he danced in and wiggling himself from that question. Let me go back this thing again with your uncle. If we pay 10% interest rate on that 50 billion investment out there is 5 billion US dollar in interest alone every year Exxon getting, and Guyana just getting over 1 billion a year. And Jack Day running around like a yo-yo or a seesaw, doing everything to avoid answering that question. He said the investors must get a rate, must get a return on their investment. Well, we understand that, Mr. Jagdeo. We agree with that too, Mr. Jagdeo. But the question here is what rate Guyana is paying. 10%, 20%, 30%. Let the Guyanese people know what Exxon is taking out from our oil. Why my reporter have to go to Exxon to ask them that question, then come to you for an answer? What are you really telling this nation, Jagdeo? Huh? Uncle, which donkey buying a house with a loan from a con man and telling his family, yeah, I'll go and ask the con man how much he charging we, and then come back to he? You know, see, he's part of the gangsterism that is going on there, Uncle. Hmm? We asked him more than 10 times about the real owners that collected money for the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. At one press conference, he said, wait, that report not make public yet? No, Mr. Jagdeo. No. This nation still awaits to know when you're going to make it, when you're going to put it out, so that we can see who really collected the billions from them two oil blocks. We still waiting. Look, today, Uncle, today, we reported in the Kaieteur news, the new oil law President Ali and Jagdeo are going to put in place does not have any requirement for the government to tell the Guyanese people who them give or who them sell the new oil blocks to. Them can do what they want with it. And the opposition, as usual, will remain silent. You know, there's a song I always like and remember. Do what you want. Do what you want with me. The song say if it ain't strong enough, I can tell you. If it ain't long enough, I can tell you. I wanted to play the song for you. But no. Do what you want, honey. Do what you want with me. If it ain't strong enough, I can tell you. If it ain't long enough, I can tell you. If it ain't tough enough, I can tell you. If you ain't man enough, I can tell you. Do what you want. Do what you want with me. That is what Jagdeo them doing to all of you. And none of you telling them, yes, them is not man enough. Joshua, you got a song, right?
Yeah.
No, man, don't play it. Don't give them. That is the opposition we have. And some of you are just like them. When they ask you to jump, you ask them how high. And how we going to walk, Panshi. Sickening. It is really sickening what's happening in this country. People just allowing themselves to be rolled over by these crooks, these scamps, these hooligans. You got presenting themselves as leaders. Leaders of what? Thank you, Miss Mortley. You know, from the time, Josh, from the time I start this program, like my mouth does get dry. You know, just to talk about these people. You know, it's like a sick you pick up with them. I don't imagine if I gotta stand with them or be around them. Thank you. It's the same scampishness with the PPP government. Them run as soon as they go back in office and put a law. Put a law for the little crumbs we get in from the oil that sits in the overseas bank account, uncle. The law them pass targets and ready to jail people who expose skullduggery with the oil money. But it does not talk about jailing the leaders if and when them thief it or misuse it. Are you help me for understand what is going on in this country? Please. And the opposition is still in a coma. Whenever them open them eyes, they don't know. They don't know where they are. And if they do whisper, uncle, them say, is where them there? In front GCOM? We can walk by she. Joshua,
Yes, sir.
you really think these people love me, right? I think so, you know. I think the opposition and the government love Lall. And more so the oil companies. I love all of them too. You know, Josh, I told the audience last week, Friday night, it's very hard and difficult to keep up and report on all the madness that's going on in this country on a daily basis. From the time, uncle, I put my mind on something serious to talk about, 10 more pop up. So I have to sift out what I bring to you on this program every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, just like hours before. Oh, uncle, there are hundreds of important issues and developments that I just can't talk about. It's too much. The whole country is being sold piece by piece, by the minute, back to the slave masters. We are actually living in slavery. Right back where our parents, I should say our foreparents were. And our leaders today are joining hands with the enslavers and proudly calling it, yes, sanctity of contract. Even our parliament, uncle, our president are helpless, hapless and hopeless, and even impotent. They can't stand up to the enslavers. Now tell me, is this not slavery all over again? Not one politician from the time Trotman signed that contract in 2016 has stepped up to confront and untie the knot of that enslaving contract. Not one of them. Not one of them, uncle. But I got news for y'all tonight. I have good news for you tonight, uncle. You got to hear this carefully. I always know pressure does burst pipe. Pressure does burst blood vessels. Pressure does topple empires and change history. Pressure, uncle. Yes. Pressure, auntie, does even help people to sanitize their conscience. 2 weeks ago, on this program, I kept on urging you to come alive before 2025. Otherwise, they will skin you alive one by one. I am extremely proud. I am extremely happy to report tonight that at least one man has heard me and responded. His name is Raphael Trotman, the man who signed that Exxon Guyana contract. Yes, the man who signed the contract that tie up all of us like an iguana. He has finally stepped forward, breaking his silence after 7 years. And like I said, Uncle, I am extremely happy that finally our Creator has touched his soul and awoken him. Uncle, he is now telling the nation that the world, yes, he's telling the nation and the whole world in a book that he has written and released 2 weeks ago, that the oil contract he signed can be renegotiated. You didn't hear what I said there just now. I will repeat it. Trotman said in a book he just released 2 weeks ago that the contract he signed can be renegotiated. You see why I told you on Friday this program cannot be predicted? I never knew that tonight I would have been sitting here talking about Raphael Trotman, the man who signed the contract, and this unbelievable statement from him that the contract he signed can be renegotiated. I want to remind all of you, Raphael Trotman was the Minister of Natural Resources. He is a lawyer by profession and a trained negotiator of contracts from the most recognized university in the world, Harvard. And we still end up with the most one-sided, lopsided, no-sided oil contract in the history of mankind. Don't ask me how. I don't have that answer. What I know, Uncle, is that it took him 7 years, 7 long years, to fight with his conscience before he broke his silence and revealed that this contract he signed can be renegotiated. Every day, every month, every year that he kept quiet, he encouraged and caused grave damages to this country and all of us. Now, Uncle, let me present to you very nicely what Raphael Trotman said in his own words. You have it there. Please put up his book with the title of his book and his words. Let the people read it for themselves. I will read it to my radio programs. Uncle, in his own words, he said, the demand for renegotiation of the Exxon contract continues unabated. And my own view is that no contract is inviolable. Meaning, Uncle, any contract can break. And therefore, it can be renegotiated. He went on to say, undoubtedly, if Guyana, as a sovereign state, wishes to renegotiate the contract to get better terms, then I would support such an initiative. You hear that, Josh? His own words, Uncle, not mine.
It's on the screen.
It's on the screen, guys. Read it for yourself. Auntie, why is Trotman now coming out to tell this nation, if the leaders of this country want to renegotiate the contract, he is willing to support that. Where was his voice or his pen from day one when Kaieteur News began exposing the one-sided nature of this contract and calling for it to be renegotiated? Uncle, where was his pen and his voice? And we are still calling for a change to this lopsided contract he signed on to this day. Where was he, Uncle, when Guyana desperately needed his voice or his pen? May I ask? Then, Uncle, he accused me in his book. Yes, me, Lall, in his book, saying he spoke to me about pushing for an investigation so the country would know why and what led him to sign the contract. And I did not heed his call. How do you like that?
Wow. I gotta read that book.
Mr. Trotman, Lall and his media house, along with this nation, don't want to hear about an investigation of who did this or who did that. That's gone. Long gone. 7 years now. The people of this country want to hear about renegotiation of the contract, and they want to hear it from the time you sign it, Mr. Trotman. This media house that I lead has been exposing all the ills and wrongs you and your party did with our contract, and has been pushing from the very day that contract became public for a renegotiation. Where was your mouth? Or where was your pen from then to now? We didn't hear you. Or didn't hear from you. Why, Trotman? Guyana doesn't want an investigation, Trotman. This nation wants renegotiation. Investigation not going to put food on the tables of the citizens. Renegotiation will, brother. Renegotiating this contract will make the Guyanese people breathe. Renegotiation of this contract will have people eat to live, rather than having our brothers and sisters living to eat whatever is thrown at them with that contract you sign. Don't you agree with me, Mr. Trotman? You said on more than one occasion you were instructed and directed to sign that contract. And we would have reported that many times. But let me ask this. How can you, as a trained lawyer and a qualified negotiator of contracts and our natural resources minister at the time, affix your signature to such a contract that would tie, that binds this present and future generations to extreme poverty, man? Huh? This nation would love to hear why you did something like this. Are you willing to come on this program with me? Or are you willing to sit with my reporters to tell the whole world who instructed and directed you to sign that contract? Now that you're sharing this new position you have, you can. I am just a phone call away. My number is still the same. You can call me anytime. This whole country deserves to know. And the best person to tell them is you, Raphael. We don't need an investigation. We need you to speak. And you're competent enough to do that. President Ali, Vice President Jagdev, and your own people in the opposition have thrown you under the bus using sanctity of contract. You bind this nation to. Isn't it time you clear the air? Isn't it time you respond as forcefully as you can? To eradicate, to stop the crap the nation is saying about you. You have seen the opposition leader, when the word renegotiation is put on the table, how he turns into a shadow. Why didn't you tell him about renegotiation and how the contract can be changed? You should have told him that. Why are you waiting till now to write book? Jagdev and President Ali, both of them are continuously lashing out at you, saying you put Guyana where it is today with that contract you signed. Again, man, isn't it time you come out and speak to this nation, seeing that you're capable of putting up a good defense, not only for yourself, but for the country, so that we all can have this contract cancelled and corrected? Isn't it time that you educate the president and the vice president along with the opposition leaders about the power and authority a sovereign country has? Like you said in your book. You should. You should. Since when a contract is bigger than a sovereign country? Since when a contract can supersede Parliament and the laws of Guyana? Since when a contract can reduce the president of a country to a puppet and do the same to the vice president and the opposition leaders? Since when, man? You have crippled, no doubt about that, this country with a contract. Don't you think it is time for you to go an extra mile and show we, yes, and show we how we can fix and correct the flaws and the crime of that contract, brother? I think so. I honestly think so. This nation is starving. This nation is seeing darkness in every hole Exxon bore. They are seeing oil. Yes. Exxon seeing oil in every hole they bore, while we seeing darkness. Our lifeblood is draining away by the minute in every barrel, on every project out there. Isn't it time that all of this come to a full stop and end, so that this nation can breathe and start living again, Mr. Trotman? I think so. Uncle, there is nobody more than Trotman who knows the horrors and dangers of this contract and where it will lead Guyana and future generations. So he owes us. He owes us all to come out and help fix and correct it. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt that he was instructed and directed to sign that contract, which he did. And now he regrets. He should now take the next step, because he has the most, or I should say he has most of the answers how to go about fixing and correcting it with his skill sets. He received from Harvard. Look, I have been playing my role, Trotman. The team at Kaieteur News have been playing their part. Now, what about you, uncle and auntie? Isn't it time you confront your leaders about this evil that hangs over our heads, to live a comfortable life and prepare a stable future for your offsprings, man? Huh? Or you all will wait to live on handouts and a once a year bonus that is being thrown at y'all, and throw them all around them leaders, them misfits leaders I have, round the neck. At least, uncle, we now know where Trotman stands today. He's ready to support renegotiation of the contract he signed. The president, the vice president, and Norton have to come out now and tell us where they stand on this matter. Non-Guyanese, no one of you should sit on your hands one more day without getting an answer from these people. You have to, uncle. If you love your children and grandchildren, stand up, please, and safeguard their future. Forget about you. Do it for your children, uncle. And Trotman is now saying clearly, he is willing to lead the way, utilizing, like I said, his negotiating skills and what he learned from the mistakes he and his party made when signing that contract. Joshua, I want to personally offer Trotman my full support, although he kept silent for 7 years. What about you, Joshua? Thank you. Uncle and auntie, whether it was a mistake or not, whether corruption happened or not with a contract, Guyana finds itself in a bind where generations to come will suffer. I am willing, as a media house owner and a commentator, to let bygones be bygones. Let us throw our support behind the man who signed the contract, and all the people who are glamoring and calling for renegotiation of this contract. Please. I know that Trotman was not sleeping well. I know that Trotman is not happy, or not a happy man. I know that Trotman finds himself in a bind with his signature on that contract that forced him to write that book. Maybe all of this has led to his illness. The good doctors would normally say, if the mind is sick, so is the soul and the body. Trotman must have been suffering quietly, and today he has reached a breaking point that led him to write that book. We should all wish him a speedy recovery so that he can join us in this fight. Yes, this fight for a better deal. I also believe that Trotman's boss at the time of signing that horrible contract, former President David Granger, is not happy. And he is also having sleepless nights. He too must do like Trotman and throw his weight behind the call for renegotiation. The doors of this media house are open 24 hours for him too. So guys, I am waiting. We are waiting. Uncle, that contract has also made me unhappy. I am not ashamed to say it. It gives me sleepless nights too, Trotman. And I am sure it is also giving many Guyanese sleepless nights on a hungry stomach. But together, all of us can and must change it. Let me end tonight's program by saying this. Let's all wait, watch, and see the next move by the PPP, the PNC, and the AFC as to where they want to go with this new development coming from the pen of the man Raphael Trotman, who signed Guyana's oil contract. And then, only then, Uncle and Auntie, all of us will know who are the traitors. Who are the traitors and the demons among us. Now you will know. Now you will see if your leaders love you. You, the Guyanese people, or love ExxonMobil and the oil companies more than you. Let's wait and see what they will do. I always remember Barack Obama's slogan, can we do it? Yes, we can. You better get alive before 2025. Every day I look out my office glass. I am seeing the size of pipeline Exxon bringing in this country. Man, the pipe is getting bigger daily. It's not 1 foot anymore. It's now 2 and 3 feet pipe. They're fetching on the road. Before you wake up in the morning with today's technology, clap of your hands, uncle. Clap of your hands. There is going to be nothing for you if this contract doesn't change, and change quickly. It used to be 10 and 20 pipe on one truck. Now, if you get a chance to look at it, it's only 1 on a truck. Oh. Should I say more? Josh? Should I say more or should we take some phone calls? I got a lot more to say. What do you think? Let's take some phone calls. Let's take some phone calls, uncle. You know, Josh, let me sip my tea. We'll take a few phone calls and I'll give you a little piece more. Thank you. You know, before the phone calls come, let me give them this piece, man. Before I go, Uncle, I have this tape for you to listen. It was sent to me just before I come on this radio program. And you see how God would have it?
Yes.
You know, when I opened this tape, I had to smile and say, thank you, God. Play it for them, man.
We have learned from the World Bank and the IMF that 2% royalty together with 50% profit share in oil is on par with a majority of the countries that have found oil. It is almost 60% government take when you add withholding taxes, which we have now added via the arrangement with ExxonMobil, and a signature bonus of $18 million US, along with other benefits. We also feel that we need the production of oil so that we can get funding for all that I just mentioned. Infrastructural works, the bridge across Demerara that is going to be on pillars like what you have in Canada. Broad asphaltic roads all across Guyana to connect all the various communities. And to also avoid the congestion that we have with the bringing in of over 10,000 cars every year since 2015. We need also the expansion of lands for agricultural produce. And we are right now designing the expansion of the MMA Phase 2 and Phase 3 scheme. That's wonderful news to our rice farmers. We want also to go to the backlands of Blackbush Polder and do an expansion there. But all of this will require money. And we were envisioning this since 2016 when we signed on that agreement, knowing very well that by 2020 we would get the oil to expand all those schemes for the benefit of our farmers, especially in Region 5 and Region 6. Those who are now criticizing that deal are rather ill-advised and ill-informed completely.
That was Kemraj Ramjatan. Oh, buddy. You see why you have to love today's technology, Uncle? Yesterday, they were good. Yes, they were good at bluffing and fluffing. Sell your dreams that don't exist. That will never become a reality. Just to get in office. Yes. To put schemes in place. I wonder what he will say now about Trotman's revelation. Uncle, Ramjatan learned from the IMF and the World Bank. Two biggest scams this world produce is the World Bank and IMF. That 2% royalty and 50% profit share. What Guyana settled for is on par with many countries that find oil. Ramjatan should ask the World Bank and the IMF, or he as a lawyer, trained lawyer too, should Google and find which country has any contract that looks like Guyana one. He should do that. I'll probably give him $10 million if he can find one. Because I asked ExxonMobil King, what I got here in Guyana Routledge, to name me one. And he down he head and thought he faced for me. This man will tell me, oh, the World Bank and IMF, yes, says we have the best deal. Two crooks, Uncle. He said, I also feel They need oil production so that they can get money to do infrastructural works. The new Demerara Harbour Bridge that is going to be on pillars, just like Canada. Broad asphaltic roads right across Guyana to connect all communities, bringing in 10,000 cars a year since 2015. This leader had good. Are you sure this man wasn't drunk when he was talking? They were envisioning this since they signed on to that contract in 2016, knowing very well they will get the oil to expand all those schemes. You sure is the right scheme this man talking about? Or he talking about another scheme? I'm just asking. Those who are criticizing those who are criticizing that deal are rather ill-advised and ill-informed completely. I say no more, Uncle. Namaste. I'm going to take your phone calls now. Or you want to play him back, man? Play back that man, let him hear him. Play him back. Gosh, man.
We have learned from the World Bank and the IMF that 2% royalty together with 50% profit share in oil is on par with a majority of the countries that have found oil. It is almost 60% government take when you add withholding taxes, which we have now added via the arrangement with ExxonMobil, and a signature bonus of 18 million US dollars, along with other benefits. We also feel that we need the production of oil so that we can get funding for all that I just mentioned. Infrastructural works, the bridge across Demerara that is going to be on pillars like what you have in Canada. Broad asphaltic roads all across Guyana to connect all the various communities. And to also avoid the congestion that we have with the bringing in of over 10,000 cars every year since 2015. We need also the expansion of lands for agricultural produce. And we are right now designing the expansion of the MMA Phase 2 and Phase 3 scheme. That's wonderful news to our rice farmers. We want also to go to the backlands of Blackbush Polder and do an expansion there. But all of this will require money. And we were envisioning this since 2016 when we signed on that agreement, knowing very well that by 2020 we would get the oil to expand all those schemes for the benefit of our farmers, especially in Region 5 and Region 6. Those who are now criticizing that deal are rather ill-advised and ill-informed completely.
Oh, Uncle, I got to take a break. Good evening, sir. You're live on the air.
Hey, listen, victory, victory, victory. And in the words of Malcolm X, the chickens are coming home to roost.
Yes, it is.
The chickens are coming home to roost. Hey, listen, man, you deserve a Pulitzer Prize for this one.
I don't deserve nothing, brother.
Yes, you do. Don't be modest.
No.
Modest by putting up your name for it.
Buddy.
This one here is earth shaking. This is going to reverberate around the globe.
Buddy, I don't need nothing, brother. I just want a better Guyana. That is what I have been fighting for this 29 years now, brother, through the pages of the Kaieteur News. You hear
This
me?
news here tonight lift my depression.
Thank you. Thank you. And I am happy too. I am happy
When
too.
do you think you'll be able to do an interview with this guy?
Well, I throw it out there. I'll reach out to him. He will.
Yes,
He already
yes.
he already break it there, and he said, "Man, listen, let's talk." He can help. He wants to help. So now it's up to the PPP, the PNC, along with the AFC.
Oh man, I was saying I see why a lot of heads are going to roll. A lot.
No, we don't. You see, this is why when he spoke to me, and I honestly couldn't remember he spoke to me about an inquiry into an inquiry he wanted, right? But because of how I think as a businessman, right, I would have like just shrug it off, because an investigation doesn't mean anything. You're done buying yourself. You're done buying Guyana. Let us see the way forward. Wait. Hold on. The way forward, right? I would have seen it then and still see it today. Is not an investigation. An investigation to see what? To see that Joseph Harmon, Carl Greenidge, whoever, Patterson, Ramjatan, and whoever Telemann signed the contract. That's not going to get us anywhere. What gonna get us out of this loop we're in is getting the contract to change, and that is what I have been clamoring for from the moment we saw the contract.
I feel you.
Thank you.
You don't want to get into the politics of it, but in the Godfather 1, they were made. Oh God, I'm losing my train of thought. They were made an offer that they could not refuse.
Well, let's move away from the offer, and I have said it. Let's move away from if there was corruption or not. We got something bad that is sending our children to bed hungry every night, man. Okay, we got something that will send present and future generations to their grave hungry. Come on, let's change it.
You want to go straight to the steak and potatoes.
Exactly, let's go to the potato and deal with it. Okay? Exxon cannot walk away with everything. Exxon cannot throw crumbs at us and destroying our country, right? Which requires bank loans from IMF and World Bank to correct what's going on. Look, tomorrow, a matter of fact, I wanted to do a program tonight, since Friday, on what some international people talk about Guyana and this ExxonMobil contract. But like I said, you don't get a breathing space. As soon as one issue pops up, 15 others jump in.
And this oil is just the tip of the iceberg. What they're doing with other of our resources.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Look. Guyana has the 3 largest gold companies in the world sitting in our backyard quietly. I am not even getting time to deal with that, brother. And nobody helping me. Nobody coming out into the streets. Listen, every street people should have been out, standing up, demanding to know what's happening with their resources. But nobody is stepping out.
I've got news for you. I understand there's a strip of copper that they're looking at. There's a strip of copper ore.
Oh boy.
That they're looking at.
Oh boy.
And they are looking to sell off some of our agricultural resources to people that they shouldn't even think of bringing here in Guyana.
I don't even want to go down there.
These are people, once they get here, we will be working for them.
You're done working for them, man. Last night I went out and had dinner. Right? at the new Pegasus, brother, and I watch at my brothers and my sisters, the waitresses and the waiters them. When I watch these people standing there and look how they fold their hands, look at their faces, I am seeing Africa in front of me every minute. How, man, like there isn't words to describe. When I look at these people, you know, have to serve almost all the foreigners, you know, spending our money, eating lavishly. And you can see that these waiters and waitresses just, sadden is not a word, my friend. They're unhappy.
They're working for tips. They're working for tips.
Man,
Tips and abuse.
man, this is not tips. This is not tips.
That hotel sale, that should be stopped. This is the next thing they got to deal with before that sale goes through. You know, that is...
Oh, you're talking about the Marriott?
Yeah, the Marriott.
Oh, they done thief the Marriott, man. You just gotta watch down the road whose hands it will re-transfer to.
It should be put out there that whoever pick that up, they're gonna get trouble from the Guyanese public.
No. Well, I want, as you allow me, let me say it. Let me say to the owners who buying it. Y'all pray that I don't get a change in government. Y'all don't get a leader like Lall in government. Trust me. Trust me. That hotel will go back to that hotel will have to go back to the rightful owners, the people of this country.
The state is the rightful owner. The people of this country is the rightful owner of that hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And we should put it out to them before they close.
I have been saying that
alone, it belongs to us. It don't belong to them. It don't belong to no cabal.
Yeah. Imagine Jack Dale selling out a money making machine.
I wish they're listening to this program tonight.
Wait, no, man, for $90 million.
About to buy it.
For $90 million.
Easily and work for them. That belongs to us.
You know,
this Guyana's children property.
I didn't even tell you people this. I am told that ExxonMobil, the oil companies, them sign a 30-year contract with Marriott. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No, that can't be sold.
You know what I mean?
That cannot be sold. Yeah, I know what I mean.
It's 30 more Marriott. The owner can buy with her.
That can't be sold.
This is what I'm telling you, brother.
It belongs to us.
I have been trying to put.
There will be labor unrest, and they can't bring people in this country to run that. They're good enough to do that. They're good enough to going out of third world countries and bring people to work for less than us inside of those same hotel. No.
I have been trying, brother. I've been trying my best.
No.
I've been trying my best to put my hand on that contract.
I hope the buyers is listening to this program.
Which buyers?
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
We all know the buyers, man.
It belongs to us. But I hope they're listening.
We all know the buyers, brother. We have to take it away.
It's a warning. We're warning them to leave it alone.
My friend, look what Bara Jagdev doing. What President Ali allowing Bara Jagdev to do. Sell out the golden goose.
You know what, Glenn? You usually praise him for being so smart. What he's doing is not very smart. He's not very smart. He's selling his soul.
Man, shut your mouth.
Legacy. When he could be doing so much for the people of this country.
Man.
He is about to build up a classist society.
Man.
Instead of striving
Calm
for
down.
egalitarianism.
Calm down. Let me explain to you again and to this entire audience. Bara Jagdev is no fool. Bara Jagdev is an extremely wise, smart man. Nobody can fool Bara Jagdev with anything. I am telling you this.
So
Man, listen.
He's just an outright criminal with what
Listen to me, buddy. Listen to me, buddy. Please. Bara Jagdev knows every single thing Barra Jagdeo could watch a building and tell you the true owner. He could, the true cost. He could watch anything. The man know, you see, this man has been finance minister. This man has been president for 12 years. This man know from a pin to the mountain, the value, the cost, and what it is, and how to even make it. That's how smart he is. He's not a walkover. The banking sector, some of the banking sector members sit with me many years ago and told me, Glenn Lall, that man is extremely brilliant where finances is concerned. That nobody they have met. Listen to me, man. They have met no one who is as smart as Barra Jagdeo. This man is extremely smart, man. I used to talk to him, so I can tell you who he is. You can't fool him with anything. If this man only uses his brain to do the right thing for this country, this country can become Dubai overnight. You see the next one named Ashley Singh? Don't underestimate that little boy. Don't underestimate the boy. The boy lose election. From time he lose election, you know where he find himself? In Maldives government at the top. That's how smart these kids are. Do not underestimate them. That boy is Guyana scholar.
Let me give somebody else a break.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't underestimate them. Don't do that. We're dealing with men of high caliber that can sell ExxonMobil. Them know everything what ExxonMobil doing. It's not that they don't know. Come on. Come on. Wake up, guys. So I am not buying anything to tell you that they're stupid or they're making mistakes. They know exactly what they're doing. Don't do that. And don't do that to this nation. Please. Okay.
226-7453, 226-7454.
I'm happy. We can take a break if they don't want to. I'm happy. I'm happy. Thank you. Come on, guys. Don't do that to yourself. We're dealing with smart people. All these guys are smart people. You think Harman is not a smart man? Raphael Trotman not a smart guy? Ram Jatan not smart? No, they're smart. Yes, good evening, regular caller. Come on, let's go.
Good evening, man. Whatever Trotman talk in the book there, the Jews said Trotman there.
Mm-hmm.
He just confirmed, Trotman, that this game is a trade robbery game.
All right, I hear you.
And whatever you say about Jagdeo smart and Jagdeo this and Jagdeo that, Jagdeo is a done. And nothing but a done.
Thank you. Let's move on.
23 years with these companies that you run in this country, the guy in the dollar tumbling all the time. And you can't make it 100 to 1.
Jagdeo know everything that is going on. Every single thing. I asked Jagdeo, one second. Stop this train robbery thing and we gotta keep moving ahead, brother. We can't keep talking one thing over and over and over and over. Please. We gotta keep moving ahead. Now listen to me. I asked Jagdeo a simple question after my radio program. Would Guyana ever see a year budget from the oil money coming out from Exxon? Right? He looked at me and smiled. And I know. And he knew the question I was putting to him, that Guyana will not see a year budget when the year comes from all that oil that will be pumping out there. Because he knew in advance what deal they have. You understand? So don't tell people that this man is a dunce. Don't do that, please. This man knows everything. If you listen to him there, the question we ask, I played him twice. You think he's a dunce? You see how slowly he was picking his words just not to answer that question?
You know, sometimes you just talk like if this man is a god or this man own Guyana. So you just want to promote this.
No, sir. No. You're not.
This man is a dunce.
No, man.
Jack Davis is a dunce.
All right. You stick with that.
And you denying the truth.
You have anything you want to talk? Let's don't.
It's a train robbery this country.
No, you gotta come off the train robbery, brother. You gotta come off this train robbery one thing over and over. Stop it, man. I ain't got the time for that. And if you think he's a dunce, then go ahead.
Good evening. Guy, good night, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Glenn. The news we get with Chatman with the Bokri, right? It's getting, I think things will make a U-turn, because to me, like, now they're waking up. And I'm glad for these two set of people work together. Jagdeo and the opposition, they must come together, right, and work things for the nation. So we could forget about election. The two of them got to come as one, right, and look after the interests of this nation. And, you know, my mind get a little relief because I get a feeling things will make a turn. And when you see you open me mouth on any program, especially in the morning time, right, I can't talk most on the topic what they're bringing up. I got to talk what politicians doing, and we need a change, and they must work together for the benefit of this nation. And sometimes our talk they can't handle, they don't want to hear when I talk about politicians, because they think I should focus more to the topic. But I can't do that because my stomach heavy with nothing for spit out in the morning. And I use the opportunity there for ease my mind. Right? So
Thank you.
For tonight.
Thank you.
Change of the contract.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have one here. Good evening, caller. Hello. All right, let me just return the call. I've been calling for quite some time. This person's been trying to get us very long. Let's see if we get them. Good evening, sir. Go ahead.
Good night. I would like to comment on what Mr. Glenn is saying.
Go ahead.
In a nutshell. When Mr. Glenn said that Jack Davis is smart, I agree with him. He's very smart and he's very cunning. But to the sense that his smartness and cunningness is happening in such a way that he's using it to squeeze the nectar, all the nectar out of Guyana, and keep it for himself.
I agree with you.
That's how he's smart.
I agree with you.
That's his smart.
I agree with you. Only a smart man can do things like that.
He knows everything that's going on. He's using the opportunity to benefit. They're all using the opportunity to benefit themselves. That is the kind of smarter they are using.
I
think so.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And there are no fails to do better. Do better.
I agree with you, brother.
To do what they want to do. You know? That's how it works. Let's make it.
Thank you, sir.
I hear you, brother. I hear
They
you.
do better, but they just do better because they find the Ghanese people to be very stupid.
Jagdev believe all of is stupid. And now President Ali, he's sitting in a corner.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I shudder to know. I stunted myself to know if President Ali doesn't believe that these things are going to fall on him later on, that he's going to be held responsible for all this that's happening, and just take himself out. So, Mr. Ali has the opportunity to active, sit there, same thing, unless I tell you. But why isn't he doing it? Why isn't he doing it?
I hear you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright,
Thank you.
Yeah.
The man is correct. He's smart.
Yep.
Yeah, he know how to con the nation.
Yeah.
And he has been conning the nation since he was finance minister. I could show I have shown her so many things he would have done. That does.
Hello?
Hi, good night, sir.
Yes, am I on to the Mr.
You're live
Lall
on
show?
You're live on the air. Go right ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to congratulate Mr. Lall with what he's saying, what he's doing. I very much appreciate his comment. I would like to say to Mr. Lall, I know he's asking for people to come out. What I would like to see is that we started from small. Sundays, we just got what we call Kaieteur Market. Let me walk around there and talk to everybody we could speak to privately. Saturdays, let me walk around Big Market, let me walk around. We don't have to shut down no tongue. Let me educate people in simple words, in simple talk, in simple... You know, people would like to listen because some of them don't listen to radio, they don't listen to TV, you know. So let me plan it like that. Sunday mornings, we gonna walk around Big Market. We gonna walk around Kaieteur Market. We gonna walk around these markets and deal with people single-handedly for hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, right? And I would like to hear, you know, I would like to know if you agree with that. I will be there to educate people.
I agree.
Right?
I totally agree with you. But Lall, where Lall finding all this time to come do that? You people.
I agree with you, sir. You're a professional businessman.
You
have to get your time and your minute.
You are the people. You are the people who got to do things like that.
Thank you very much. I will appreciate if you will agree with me.
Yes, I agree with you. I've been calling on everybody listening to this program to get on to their neighbors, get on to their friends, their families, get on to everybody to listen to the program, get out there and speak to them.
Yeah. My next point, I'm saying to this, don't let me fight people down. I'm saying to ExxonMobil, the management, the shareholders, and all of them, if you're corporate citizens, if you're loving people, oh man, we don't have to beg you. You come out, the 2%, you come and say, look, we gave 4 more window. You come out and say, look, we can cut this, we can do that. If you're loving, look, some people pay millions to go for see the Titanic and never come up back. What you want with money if the world is going to suffer?
Uncle.
I'm asking the management.
Uncle.
1 second, sir.
Uncle.
I'm hearing you.
Tell the uncle he living in the wrong world. Tell him you begging ExxonMobil, you're living in the wrong world, brother. You're dealing with...
Why they can't come and say, look, we can raise it 2 to 7. Why they can't come and say we can cut the interest rate by 3?
Tell him
Thank you, sir.
Why? Who is them?
Thank you.
What is doing with the money?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You know, Joshua, the uncle that called here, you see, and I keep saying this thing over and over, because of who we are as a people, you know, this passiveness, this love, this culture we grew up in, is the exact thing happen in Asia and Africa, you know. We say, man, oh, let me beg them, no, man. You know this begging attitude? Oh, well, we should be begging them. Uncle, drop the attitude. Drop the style you have there. Don't push that down to your grandchildren. That's the reason I tell you thank you. Because I was hustling to get you off the phone quickly. That type of attitude does not work in this world anymore. Especially when you're dealing with big countries, the white people of this world. They are heartless and they are gangsters. You can't beg them. You have to demand from them. And you have to look them in the eyes as man together. You see how you talking there? It's like you going down like how the Africans and the Asians go down back in the days of slavery. Yes, massa. Oh, you gonna give me a little food? Come on, man. Drop them kind of attitude that. If you have them kind of attitude that, don't call this radio program. Please. I don't need them kind of language. Good evening. Good evening. Yes. No, we can't. Cut the attitude out. Yes. If you can go out into the streets and tell them people, oh, we got beg eggs on, don't do that. We don't have to beg nobody. This is our thing, man. Go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Go ahead.
Good night, Ben.
Yeah, good night.
I'm calling for Eskimo. But they may do a lot of work down here. I try for educated people, but what you want to do, you can only talk to people. Into this afternoon, I encourage a lot of people to turn on and get up on this program. One more thing I'm going to tell you. What you have done there with your program caused Trotman to come out. And if Trotman say that he going to help negotiate, but we think we're moving at a pace now. And I must congratulate you.
Thank you.
Your program is doing a wonder for this country.
Thank you.
And you should be, come me tell you, you should get one of the highest medal. What kind of that? Because what you're doing the work for the opposition, you're doing the work for the party in charge now, you're doing the work for see everybody work you do right now.
Thank you.
Because none of them are able to do. I've been listening to your program, especially the one way invite Barata at your place. And that man never answered none of your questions up to nobody. I tell you that. I got a thing tape. I'm just playing back for the people here. I tell you, continue to do the good work, brother.
You know that even one of the questions when he was on my program, he answered?
Man, I tell you.
And that's the reason. And
I remember 2 weeks ago when you asked the man about this exam guarantee for still. And the man said he more concerned than you.
I'm more patriotic than him.
And you said thank you. Thank you for here. And 1 week after the court helped the man for the same 1 month where he said he pay, and now they happy with it. I tell you what happened now. Ramjatan I try to tell more lie than Barajadi now. I know the man go. Let me be honest with you. Me join AFC thought that you are a black man, a Koli man, and a Douglas. I say, you know what, this is the turning point for this country. And I follow the man, then people come and discover here and tell me they're not going to join up in no party. And I say the balance of power bigger thing under control now. That man, not go himself, that man, not go himself to do the negotiation with PNC. He didn't say Nagamutu. Mislead everybody. So he a fight for that more lie down than Barrett, man.
Right now, if I don't get a complete change in this country from the PPP and the PNC, this country is doomed.
But me see the land before.
And let me tell you something, you don't need a third force to come take 5, 10, 20 seats. You need a clean sweep right across. If not, don't waste time.
Here, me go get on to you. And me go tell you, anytime you ready need a Escobar here, I got contact with, you supported them here. Me keep contact with them people. And be there here for back your body.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's hope. Thank you.
Because when you start tonight, the body you have done so.
Thank you.
When you do them, I tell you, all guys need to celebrate tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good night.
Let's hope Jagdeo said, I am behaving like a messiah. Let's hope.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Let's hope that his mouth doesn't catch me and the messiah become a leader of this land.
To you and the panel, the messiah humble servant is here, but having a problem. having a problem getting some of my brothers them to understand what the richest country for a capita means. I'm having a problem getting some of them understand
All right.
the vast amount of resource that we have.
Hold. Per capita means per person, that's all. You got 10 body in the house,
Yes.
right? Per capita means everybody rich. Everybody in that house is rich. Everybody in Guyana house richer than everybody house in America. Everybody house in Canada. Everybody house in Dubai. That's the kind of wealth. Wait. That's the kind of wealth this country have. We have been listed as the richest house in the world today.
Yes, exactly. I understand what you're saying, but we're trying to share this information with some of my fellow brothers, but they don't understand. They just run away.
No, you just got to explain it. The amount of wealth that we have, are we so rich? You understand? But you're not getting nothing. How you gotta tell them how the world can rate we as the richest country, the richest home, and yet we are the poorest. You understand? It means that the wealth is in the house, but the people in the house is not getting it. They're not benefiting from it. It's moving away.
Okay, thanks very much.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Good. Have a good night. I got one. I'm going to take this one. This person keep calling. All right. Thanks. I'm returning the call because you got some people been calling here.
Call is being forwarded.
Good. All right. So, Josh, if you got one more there, we take it. You got one man. I'm trying to get him back. We're not getting him.
I lost that caller there too. All right.
Yeah. All right. We should take a wonderful evening.
Yes.
Guys, namaste. And do enjoy the rest of the evening. And once again, thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Get your neighbors, get your friends, get everybody to keep on listening to these programs. They're being replayed at 11 o'clock every morning on this program. Or you could go on YouTube, Kaieteur radio page, Facebook, and it's there. Yes. Good. Namaste. Guyana, join me on the Lall Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Lall Show only on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.